Hi guys, it's Little Captain Joe here. Yes, this is my fandom page about my fictional cruise line. I'm still making this. Yeah, I'm still making it. And don't mind the background noise, it's my fan. But, before we start the video, part 2 of Epic Ships, Whistles, and Horns 2 came out. Go watch it, it's epic. Recommend me Horns and Whistles for part 3, but that's part 2. Speaking of which, let's start with the video. So I'm gonna break this down in like 4, maybe 5 chapters, I guess. So yeah, don't mind the don't mind the fan. It's loud. So first ship would be the Union&PacificLine is official. Well, blah blah blah. Founded in the 1840s, and it's still in operation. No wonder. Ronald Athol, at the time 18. No, yeah, he made the company when he was 18. Wanted to make a shipping line to dominate seas, to dominate Cunard, basically. So other people gathered, what do you call it? Businessmen, all of that. They gathered in a meeting, formed ASL, the old name, Adventure Shipping Line, the old name. Don't ask, I just put my cursor or something. And yeah, the first ship was named SS Athol, named after Ronald. So yeah, I have this open too, so we're just gonna go on this. Yes, this has more images. So yeah, credit to Brian, because he helped me make the whole description, because at the time I actually sucked at making stories, but now I kinda better. So yeah, she's built in. So yeah, this is her when she was blowing her whistle. Hold on, let me get a thing of when she was. Ew, Sniper Wolf. No. Don't ask, I'm going to the channel. Whoops. Yep. I'll explain this in a few moments. I'll explain Akron in another chapter. Oh yeah, by the way, this is an abandoned channel. Me and Brian made it, so this is abandoned. I'll explain more in depth, but this is her whistle on her maiden voyage. Actually, sorry, not on her maiden voyage. Not on her maiden voyage in 1916, 2 years before she would sink. So don't ask what my recommendations are. So what you heard right there is SS Athol's whistle. Next, the Duchess of Athol and Carpathia. So also, don't ask this guy. He hacked into my account somehow. Well, this explains it, but I'm gonna verify it. Wait, didn't I already? Okay, I'll figure that out, but whatever. So, SS Athol was an offshore liner that was owned, blah blah blah, and was the first ship. She was built and launched by Harlan and Wolff. Yes, they built SS Athol in 1845, and because ASL, I'm gonna reference as ASL, as Adventure Shipping Line. So, it was brand new. Was a brand new shipping line. They didn't see success straight away, and they almost fell in bankruptcy. So I might have pronounced that wrong, but okay. The empty hull of the Athol was left in fitting out base for nearly 5 years. Yes, she was big. Until finally she was completed in 1850. She set sail on her main voyage, and April 6th. 1851. Her route was from New York to Halifax and back, and then back at 12:39 p.m. She blew her whistle and left for New York City, where the company's based out of. And so is Venture. I'll explain. I'm not going to explain that. Go watch Ocean Lantern Designs video about SS America. Yeah, and left New York City, heading straight to Halifax. At the time, she was the most beautiful and popular ship in the era. In the era, and the Union and ASO saw success. So yeah, until in 1853, Athol was running her usual normal voyage, New York to Halifax. When a dense fog settled in, yes, it became foggy. Blah blah blah. You might see a CapCut web mark at the end of the video. Blah blah blah. By the way, her captain and crew couldn't see anything, like nothing. And then at 10:50 a.m., she struck a rock. Yes, a rock near a deserted island not far from Halifax. To prevent her from sinking, her quick-thinking captain turned the ship around and beached her alongside the island. Thankfully, all passengers and crew survived. But there were some injuries, and then later, everyone was transferred into another ship while SS Athol lay stuck on the island. It took 2 weeks to get her free. In a total, around 9 tugs worked hard to get her free. She was later brought back into service, brought back to her home port, New York, and was inspected and repaired. SS Athol continued service like a remodel in the 1890s. You remember the first SS Athol image? Just go back to the first video. She got a conversion. She looked more like the romantic. Until World War II, she was torpedoed and sunk. And yes, I took the Carpathia second photo and took it. And then German U-boat sank, and she sank under an hour. Out of all 378 people, 345 survived, and 33 fatalities. She would be missed. I mean, the first ship. Who would you think? And some years later, the whistle was found for the Athol. I'm gonna put a video up of her newer whistle, and it's in the Columbus Museum, restaurant and hotel in New York, and this is all fictional. So, although she would sink later, although she did get stuck that one time, we did have the SS Great Western, which would live on to World War II, which is actually the next ship now, SS Great Western, which we don't have a page on it. Yeah, this is Athol during her conversion. And yes, and it is a column line funnel. That's what we had. So yes, after the SS Athol was completed, ASL wanted to build another ship to run to make more money. So construction began in July 13th, 1856, and it took 3 years before she was completed. And lo and behold, we have the all-new Great Western. She would be bigger and faster than the SS Athol, but it's also still beautiful and small superstructure, as you can see in this photo. I mean, look at that. That superstructure is small as hell. She would also run along the Athol until 1865. She began crossing the Atlantic. She would be to Southampton, England, and back to New York. She would be bought by an unknown owner and then sailed for a long time until 1911. She was laid up and then called in for the British. For the British? Yep, for the British as a troop ship. World War I ended. She survived, and then she was sold again to Cunard. At the end of the World War, she would be renamed Artemis Carpania, and was sailed for 10 more years before being laid up again in 1935. And in 1939, World War II broke out. Recommissioned by the British and became a hospital ship until 1945, when World War II ended. She was scrapped in 1948. So we're not going to that. We're actually going into part 2. So then we have the SS Gaster. Not much known about it, but there would be another ship, RMS Empress of Gaster, and that would be in part 2. That would be in part 2. So she would live on in 1855 to 1900, almost a 50-year career. So don't ask. She don't really have that much about her, but what I do know is that she did go through a lot of owners and for different purposes. Harnoy, don't ask her name, I made it up a while ago, like years ago, like I'm gonna say around 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when the Golden Empress was originally gonna be Golden Valley. But anyways, Harnoy, so 1859 to 1864, she had the shortest career. Yeah. Not much known about her, but what is known about her is her sinking, is her disaster. So, in 1864, Harnoy was doing, a nice voyage to New York and Southampton. After she left to New York, so this was actually a new route. It was New York to Halifax, then Southampton. So that's where she was going. She was going to Halifax, and she was kind of off the coast, and she was off the coast. She was off the coast of Long Island. And then she was carrying TNT, and as you know it lit. Theory is that it was a cigarette. Another theory is that a fire broke out, but we don't know. She exploded. Long story short, she exploded. Everyone was killed. Like, no joke. Everyone was killed on the ship. Like, she exploded. She combusted into flames. She was deemed a total loss. She was partially sunk, raised, and scrapped. So we're gonna go until here. Actually, until we hit the 1900s. So yeah, over here. Actually, nah. That would be for part 2. Anyways, then we have the Azure. Similar fate to what is that Cunard strip? I'll insert it on the screen. But yeah, she long story short, in 1884, the rest of these ships not much known because they're not in this major thing. Anyways, oh my god, I hate that thing. Anyways, she ran around and sunk. She hit rocks, similar to Fate Athel, but instead of her sinking, she survived. Victoria was sold, but then so after she was sold, she actually became a White Star Liner as the. Let me find the name real quick. As the Corpanic, so it's a Corpanic. I hate this. Oh my god, I can't do it these rookies anymore. But anyways, yeah, she ended up sinking in World War II. Imtian was scrapped in 1900. Carlson was scrapped in 1903. Imtian in 1862, 1900 scrapped. SS Carlson 1864, 1903 scrapped. Shamrock 1860, SS Shamrock 1867 to 1894 sold off. And then she disappeared. Reappeared in Alaska somehow. Yes, she reappeared in Alaska. And she still sits there. Barely anything. And then Grand Western. She was originally going to be another running mate for the Great Western. But then lack of funds happened and then she was canceled. P.S. Laconia, 1887 to present day. Long story short, she was laid up in 1955. Sat there for like 50 years. And bought and then restored. Kind of something similar to TSS Management, only she wasn't scrapped. Anyways, SS Alberta, scrapped. Kept going overalls every 15 and 20 years. It became a hotel after World War II, and then she flooded. She was scrapped after. And then we have the Rose de Mar, SS Rose de Mar. I don't know how did I make that name up. In 1895 to 1920, struck a leftover World War I mine and sunk. Then we have the New York class. Oh boy, this got an interesting story. So, I'm not gonna read all of this because I had my friend went in it and changed the whole thing. But New York class ocean liners were going to be a trio of 3 ships: New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. But then so it would be New York, Jersey, and Pennsylvania, but then renamed to New Jersey later. It was originally going to be for Union and PacificLine built via Harlan and Wolff. But then she was moved to the competing rival Grand Central Lines, which is my friend's cruise line. These ships would be New York 2, New Jersey 2, and Pennsylvania 2. She had 4 funnel liners and between built. Alright, I'm not gonna read that. I'm not gonna read the rest, but New York, yeah. So 1 exists, 2 sunk. These were originally going to be built for 1895, and it was moved to Grand Central Lines. They didn't build it until 1923 because my friend's kind of dumb. I'm joking. Please, Ocean, don't yell at me, please. Anyways, oh yeah, by the way, this guy bottom pages. Anyways, sold before construction. So these 2, so New York and New Jersey, both sunk. They collided into each other, and both of them sunk. It was like a T-pose, so it was T-boned. And then Pennsylvania was sold, obviously. Hotel ship in Philly. I know she is gonna be a hotel ship in Philly. Thing is, she's going under restoration because yesterday she was just arrived at my port, UNPL port. Huge port, by the way. And yes, we're going up to 1900s. We have the Sea Diamond, which was basically another Homeric. Beached during a storm and abandoned. I actually have a little book I made called "What if Sea Diamond wasn't beached?" So yeah, beached during a storm and abandoned. It was deemed too much, beyond prepared. And yeah, that's just Lost Haven, torpedoed and sunk in World War I, Dark Island. I don't want anime. Get the anime off my screen. Anyway, Dark Island, sunk during World War I. No, we're on the Blue Ribbon with the speed of 23 knots until 1900. What do you call it? Yeah, August. Wait. Yeah, August 26, 1900. And then the final ship of the day, SS Columbus. So the USS Columbus is another major ship, ex-Adventure Columbus, was built in 1900 to compete with White Star Line's Oceanic II. It was the 7th major ship of UNPL. She would be famous for saving survivors of the New York One in 1914. During World War I, she would strike a rogue wave in 19... Okay, this doesn't make sense, but okay. During World War in 1914, during World War I, and striking rogue wave in 1933. But yeah, it just makes sense now. In World War II, she served as a troop ship for the British and sank Italian warships in 1944. And in World War II, in she resumed service as a year until 2005. Passenger liner service, and then the migrant trade, and then the cruise service until 2005. She was finally retired and became a hotel, museum, and restaurant in Newark, New Jersey. What the USS Athos Bell is. The restoration took 3 years, and completed in 2007. Page for Columbus in the future. So yeah, this is gonna be. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to Little Captain Joe. I'm in a subscriber race with my friend, and I'm lead, and I'm winning. And whoever wins gets money. I'm probably gonna use it. Get some money to buy ice cream and things like that. That's what we agreed on. That's what we agreed on, though. So yeah, this is Union. Please like and subscribe. And this was Union and Pacific Line, the beginning.